File photo. The National Assembly. The leadership of the 10th National Assembly has directed the Clerk to the National Assembly to produce the votes and proceedings of lawmakers in both chambers, alongside the gazetted versions of the recently passed tax acts. The directive follows a controversy triggered by claims of alleged alterations to the tax reform bills as passed by the Parliament. A Sokoto lawmaker, Abdussamad Dasuki, had, during plenary, alleged that copies of the tax laws in circulation differed materially from those approved by the National Assembly. Ruling on the matter, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajudeen Abbas, constituted an ad hoc committee chaired by a Borno lawmaker, Muktar Betara, to investigate the allegations and report back to the House for further legislative action. In a statement issued late Wednesday and signed by the Director of Information, Bullah Bi-Allah, on behalf of the Clerk to the National Assembly, the House invited public input as part of efforts to resolve the controversy. The statement read in part, "The leadership of the National Assembly has taken note of public discussions concerning alleged discrepancies between the votes and proceedings of the National Assembly and the gazetted versions of recently passed tax acts. In response to public calls for transparency, the leadership of the National Assembly has directed the Clerk to make available the transmitted tax bills duly signed by the President, including the certificate pages. This step will allow members of the public to independently review the documents and verify the facts. It further noted that despite the level of public interest, only a few individuals had formally applied for certified true copies of the harmonized bills. Despite widespread public interest, only a limited number of persons have formally requested certified true copies of the harmonized bills, and all such requests have been processed. Interested persons may apply to the Clerk to the National Assembly, indicating the specific bills required and paying the prescribed fees. On the gazetting process, the statement explained that the Clerk was working with the federal government printing press to ensure compliance with statutory requirements. The Clerk is also working with the federal government printing press to publish the duly certified and assented acts in compliance with the law. These gazettes are expected to be ready on or before January 1, 2026. While the Clerk initiates the gazetting process, the statutory responsibility for printing and publication rests with the federal government printing press, it added. The National Assembly also disclosed that it was reviewing its internal procedures to prevent similar issues in the future. To strengthen institutional processes, the National Assembly is reviewing procedures for the transmission and gazetting of bills. Henceforth, all bills for presidential assent will be routed through presidential liaison officers, and no request for gazetting an act of the National Assembly will be entertained by the printing press unless initiated by the Clerk to the National Assembly or his authorized representative, it said. The statement concluded by appreciating the public. The National Assembly appreciates Nigerians for their interest and constructive engagement in strengthening transparency, accountability, and professionalism in the legislative process, it added.